McMillan? And Trey and Nate, obviously, that's a big problem.
Yeah, no.
I think that kind of X'd out Trey is a possibility.
I don't think I don't think they're really looking at him with or without Nate,
Yep.
but sure. But, who knows? Maybe they could have reconciled or whatever. I do like Kuzma. I'd give up Rui Hachimura for Kuzma. I like Kuzma there. Sure. But other than that, DeMar DeRozan, I don't know where he's getting his money at. There's talk about the sign and trade. He may have to take the mid-level somewhere. The Lakers have the smaller mid-level available. Could he look at, let me go 1 year somewhere, play really well, and then next year when money opens up for more teams, I can get something. But the bottom line is there really isn't much out there. I think it's going to have to be J.J. Redick really working some magic with the roster, doing some different things. And then the guys that were injured last year that I've mentioned, Gabe Vincent, Jarrett Vanderbilt, Spencer Dinwiddie, who are all pretty good players, them really stepping up, staying healthy, and playing well. That's really how the Lakers are going to improve. And maybe Dalton Knecht. He is 23. So you think, is he ready to play? Yeah, if he gives them something.
Okay. Here's the question. I had a list of free agents here that are still available.
None of them are moving the needle, I assume what you're going to say.
Well, first of all, a lot of them have already been on the Lakers. Dinwiddie, Beasley, Lonnie Walker, Markieff Morris, JaVale McGee, Tristan Thompson back again if you want him for the fourth time. And then maybe trade targets, Brandon Ingram and Kyle Kuzma. We've already seen this too. But when you're talking about DeMar, and we talked about this yesterday about the Lakers culture compared to Celtics. The Celtics had a plan, and we're like, all right, 3-and-D guys, tall guys, guys that can defend. We're going to shoot a lot of threes. That's our identity. That's who we're going after.
Did you say tall guys is one of them? It's the NBA, bro.
Well, that's true. Everybody's tall, though.
Okay, that's right. I would long defenders is another way to put it. But yeah, I agree.
You want a $10 word?
Long, rangy, athletic.
Tall guys
just
seemed like
tall guys.
Is there
Tall
a team in the
makes it sound
NBA
like
right
you don't
now
know.
that's not
the Warriors.
Tall guys?
Yeah, the Warriors are like, we're good at 6'8".
Okay, all right, fair enough. Go ahead.
Is he 6'9"?
I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry, go ahead.
Fair, but listen.
I understand your
When
point.
it comes to basketball,
Just don't say
tall is important.
Why not?
Say long and rangy.
No, I'm going to say they like tall guys.
Athletic.
No, Al Horford's tall.
Finish.
Cornette's tall.
I think you were making a smart point, and I derailed it. I didn't mean to.
He
Go ahead.
You derailed it by using that elementary description of basketball players.
All right, go
In
ahead.
any event,
Thank you.
the Lakers are a little bit like an outfit where it's just like none of it necessarily goes together, but it's all kind of they're just looking to put something together that doesn't necessarily work. How about DeMar DeRozan? Like, why? Because you're like doing mid-range.
I don't think
veterans.
DeMar's
Like, no,
a
he
great
just because
fit.
he's
No,
available.
that- really good player,
It
but-
is right. So pivoting from we're hot after Klay Thompson to we're hot after DeMar DeRozan is a little bit like, hey, I'm thinking about buying a house, and you should pull up like a ranch on Zillow. And it's like, but if I don't get this one, and then all of a sudden it's a condo in the middle of the city. It's like, wait a minute. It's like, I don't know, man. Like, they're both in my price range, and I need to do something. So I agree with that. That there didn't seem to be a linear thought process. I don't think DeMar DeRozan's realistic because, again, they don't have the only way for them to acquire a player now is in a trade. It's it. They got no space left.
The mid-level.
I think that's
no, because they got 15 guys.
Yeah, right. They got 15 guys, and so this is who they are. And this is why I don't think it's going to be salvageable. They're in a very weird spot because Pelinka clearly is prioritizing the draft picks, right? So the Lakers have two assets that the rest of the league is interested in. The future draft picks and Austin Reeves, if we're assuming Anthony Davis is not available, right? That's really it. D'Angelo Russell is not a sought-after asset. Rui Hachimura is not his bad player. But Austin Reeves, because of the contract, and he's a good player on a great contract. He's an attractive asset. Future picks, because your best player is 40. Those are attractive assets. The GM, I think, is prioritizing those draft picks because GMs get complimented and flowers laid at their feet in the media for having, they have their war chest. Right. Like I think
so
Presti,
savvy.
Right, savvy GM, and the GMs who get killed are the GMs who have traded away all their picks. I think there is, not necessarily with Pelinka, but with the rest of the cabal that runs the Lakers, the triumvirate or whomever it is, a real emotional attachment to Austin Reeves. We found this player, right?
Sure.
We found this player. We developed this player. And so when you look at, as a for instance, what DeJounte Murray was just traded for, the Lakers could have gotten him last year and probably could have trumped that offer this offseason had they wanted to include Austin Reeves. I'm not even necessarily saying they should, but I'm saying had they wanted to. Zach LaVine is still available out there, for the whole world to have. Trae Young might be available. I think the Nate McMillan thing might hurt it. But if the GM doesn't want to trade the picks and the rest of management says Austin Reeves is almost untouchable, you're stuck. There's just you have no moves to make to get your team to the next level. And what is, I think, very frustrating, Brew, to Lakers fans is this. The Dallas Mavericks had Luka and Kyrie. I think that if we were to rank Luka, LeBron, Anthony Davis, Kyrie, that's exactly how I'd rank it. Like the Mavs have they have the first and fourth, the Lakers have the two guys in the middle. They missed the play-in entirely. They then make a savvy draft pick, a few small moves around the edges. They're in the finals. Now, Luka, again, is in a different stratosphere right now than LeBron, but Luka in these playoffs wasn't apex Luka. The Lakers have been nibbling around the edges, and I think some people feel like if you made a few savvy, smart moves, if playing in that Denver series was DeJounte Murray and not D'Angelo Russell, does Jamal Murray hit those game winners? Do those things happen? Are are the margins close enough? And for them to just be standing pat is a really, I think, fairly frustrating thing when they've done nothing.
I think the other thing with Dallas, remember, Kyrie and Luka had just gotten together.
It's totally fair.
They had to adjust. And they weren't playing great until they made these deals at the deadline. And I think, look, it's a challenge. You don't always know how guys are going to play with LeBron because he is such a huge, factor. He's not nearly as ball dominant, so I think it's easier to project now than it used to be. But like Malik Monk, if they had never had Malik Monk, you'd probably sitting there like, man, if they could have got a Malik Monk, So that's always a challenge, too, with the Lakers.
All right, let's head to Northern California.
They could use more tall guys, too.
Wouldn't hurt. Joker, Wemby. Imagine if they had Wemby. He's 7'5". Goodbye, Clay. Hello, Hield, Kyle Anderson, and DeAnthony Melton. That's the trio so far that has been added to Golden State. Here's their numbers, trying to replace Clay's production. Yeah, Kyle Anderson doesn't shoot many threes at all, but Buddy Hield's largely the three-point shooter. So has Golden State done enough to replace Clay?
Well, I don't think they are worse now than they were, but they weren't close to good enough last year. That's the problem. So it's not that they just need to replace what they lost in Clay. They need to go further. And so in the Western Conference, Brew, you're not a gambler. But if you had to bet an amount of money that mattered, the Warriors are definitively, without a doubt, better than the following teams.
Great. I love this game.
To me,
I love this.
There are only two teams 100% on that list. Go ahead.
Portland.
Yes, and Utah. That's it.
Two teams that aren't trying.
Right.
But if you're trying.
Everyone else, Brew, is either definitively better than the Warriors in the exact same group, or, to me, I put the Spurs and Houston in the Warriors are probably better than them, but I don't know.
Houston was talking trash last year.
Houston, so that's the problem for, you know what I mean, for me, they were the 10th best team last year in the Western Conference. They look about the same to me, which is a problem.
Yeah, they're essentially the same right now.
Yeah.
Now, and I keep bringing up Markkanen because his name's out there. I actually think Markkanen would elevate them to contender status in the West. Oof. Now, I'm not saying the top contender, but I think they would join that group.
Would they be in that tier one on your tiers?
They might jump it. I think they jump in the tier one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How many teams are in
the
tier
back
one?
end
There
of
were
tier
four.
one.
There were four.
Does it go left to right?
It'll be 5.
Yeah,
Don't worry
go
about
ahead.
that. Maybe. It's a tapestry.
Sorry, yeah.
I've heard that somewhere. But no, look, this group, Buddy Hield's a shooter. He actually shot 38.9% last year from three. Clay shot 38.7%.
Yeah.
DeAnthony Melton, he's only 6'2", but he's a really good defender, better than Clay at this point.
Yeah.
Well, he's not that long and rangy. I'll give you that. But And then Kyle Anderson to me is like a poor man's Draymond. He's tough.